We'll talk little bit on rise of Iran. Iran has been suppressed for about 200 years. When Russian Empire was there, Russian Empire was closely associated with the British Empire. Then you have this conflict between Iran and Russia. That is about 200 years ago. Right? But under Putin is different. Americans try to use Chechnya. Americans try to use terrorists or militants in Chechnya to fight against Russia. And that conflict was there for about 6 and 7 years. And that you can call them terrorism, and that was suppressed by Putin. So Putin has a strong struggle with Islamic, you can call them terrorists. And the Americans use, whenever they can use the Muslims, they use Muslim entities against their opponents. But now Russia has good relationship with, especially after the October Revolution, after communists came into power, Russian royal family was totally destroyed. So Putin has good relations with Russia, and in Russia you have large Muslim population. They are integrated. So now you are going to develop axis between China, Russia and Iran. And Iran will be a very strong member. So that means Iran is rising. And if you take the West, in West, there will be severe clashes between Muslims and the Western countries. Of course, the Western countries use Muslim terrorists to fight against countries which are against the West. So there is a contradiction. So my understanding is that a lot of Muslim countries will move towards Russia in the future. First, the Shia countries will move towards Russia, then later on, the Sunni countries which are with America will move away from the Western countries, and there will be severe friction between the Muslims and the Western countries, and the Western countries there will be severe divisions between the Sunni countries and West. So later on, the Sunni countries also will move towards Russia. So we are having this great axis developing between Russia, China and Iran. And Iran will rise after 200 years, right? And even if you look at what is happening in West Asia, Iran has destroyed almost all American bases there. And if you take presently, there's a pause in fighting for 2-3 days, for last 2-3 days, and Saudis were trying to harass the Houthis. Houthis have turned their back, and they are hitting Saudi oil terminals, right? And harbors, and their main infrastructure has been hit by the Houthis. And recently there was some bombing by some Iraqi group against the Saudis. So there is a possibility that Israel may be behind. Now you have this ship, Iranian ship was hammered by the Ukrainians, and we know that it is now accepted that the Israelis are behind that, and Iran has challenged Ukraine, right? So Ukraine was instigated by Israel to attack Iranian ship, and one crew member died, one person was injured. Now Iran says we are going to attack Israel. So Israel is going to have their hands full, right? So why Donald Trump stopped? Because if you take top military advisor for Donald Trump, legal advisor, he said America can't fight with them. So there is a null in the fighting, but we don't know how long this ceasefire will last, because you can't trust Donald Trump, because Netanyahu is supposed to visit Iran in America, visit America, and after that only we will know what Donald Trump will do, what his actions are. So whatever happens, after 200 years, Iran will rise, and the Western countries and Israel they are afraid of it, right? So we will see Iran will have a very hard path towards the future, but they will prevail.